Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy came home.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Jerry Springer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please, don't get up. Don't get up. Don't get up.
No one's getting up.
Nobody's getting up. Hey, so this is, as we're recording this, or what do you say in the podcast?
Recorded, but it's also, we're live streaming
Oh,
on
also
Facebook Live. Look at the camera.
This is the
there.
last
Say hello.
one we're doing for 2017.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Been a good
In
year.
fact, we're going to, in a few minutes, talk about that and ask Jerry to kind of do a look back on the year 2017.
Little in memoriam.
Some things
Yep.
happened.
They did.
That might be.
They
of
did. We'll have a
significance.
quick review, but because this is the last show we're doing now in 2017,
Right.
I just, for old time's sake, I just want. Where is
I
that
hate
gentleman
you.
with the
No.
with the hearing aid?
No.
I don't know, there was
okay,
an
so
older-
if you do
Right.
this, is it going to die in 2017? No more in
Good.
2018?
Yeah, it
Okay.
dies every time I
I
tell
saw
it.
an older fellow. You were talking to somebody
Older
when
guy
we
with
walked
the hearing
in.
aid. Yeah, he's
Right.
telling me, nicest gentleman.
Yeah.
And he's telling me this is Jerry, this is the finest hearing aid money can buy. I said, yeah, what kind is it? He said 4 o'clock.
That's called lukewarm there, Jerry. That is a lukewarm reception.
No,
But I tell you,
because you can tell who hasn't been here before.
oh, that's it.
They're laughing.
Always a test. Hey, this is beyond cool tonight.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
have in the audience Bootsy Collins.
Man, you should be doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And I should be sitting there.
And also his wife, Peppermint Patty.
Yes. Who does not change.
No.
No.
I mean,
Seriously.
no, I mean, you've changed your outfit. I remember it. But yeah.
She doesn't age.
No, she does not.
She doesn't age.
No.
And by the way, she is, so this is Bootsy Collins' spouse, who also is the head of the Bootsy Collins Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're doing some really good work, and we're going to talk about it. And also, Ouiwey Collins, their son.
There was a song written
Signet.
about him back in the
Yeah.
60s. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah,
You think-
ah,
so you think that's where they got
Walla,
it?
walla, bing, bang. Ooh,
We're gonna
ee,
take your
ooh,
money
ah,
away.
ah. Does anybody? Well, now we know who's over 70.
Yeah. So he has a band,
Yeah.
and they are, in their own right, unbelievable. And
Yeah.
they're going to perform tonight, so we're looking forward to that. And we're going to circle back in a minute and talk to Bootsy and Patty. And by the way, while we're at it, this is important because his new album, I'm now talking about Bootsy Collins, his new album, which is Worldwide Funk, is now out. Don't you love the
That's
color?
a good looking cover. Yep.
That is so appropriate.
And I just, if I'm not mistaken, it's now like #1 in England, in Great Britain.
Yes,
Am I right?
Really?
Yeah.
And we'll talk to them
So
about
we'll
that.
talk about that.
Very
And
cool.
I know, and let me, and you know, I don't want to have to school you, but I know because we hang out together, and you'll always say when you're meeting people, "Oh, I'm the Jerry Springer. I'm the master of funk. I'm the king of funk," and all that. I'm like,
There's some words. I've heard
how
many
many
words out of
times
this
have I had to
man's
pull him
mouth,
aside
and
and
that
say,
is
"Dude,
not one of
you
them.
are not the master of funk."
Well,
Bootsy Collins is the master of funk.
I
not-
agree.
Not Jerry Springer.
yeah, you say that, but I can't tell you how many times I'm walking down the street and someone will say, "That funky Springer."
I think you need that hearing aid.
Am I
Susan.
miss-
You need
am I
the hearing
not- I
aid.
need the
Yeah.
hearing aid. I thought that's
That's
what
a
they
different
say.
meaning, though.
Funky
That's a different
Springer.
meaning.
Not what they're saying
No.
at all.
No, I got it wrong.
Hey, by the way,
What's wrong with you?
So many things. Yeah, go ahead.
This needs to be said. There is a place, give me just a second. There's a place, it's in Alaska, Bristol Bay area, called it's called Bristol Bay is the area, but there is a mine that's trying to open that will be the largest open pit mine in North America. It's called the Pebble Mine, Peeble mine, a gold silver mine. It's been trying to get open for years. For 8 years, the Obama administration, through their EPA, put the brakes on this mine, because this mine is highly opposed, heavily opposed up in the Bristol Bay area of Alaska. And I tell you, not only should we care because of its environmental impact, but that's where the sockeye salmon that we eat, that we go to grocery stores in Cincinnati and Spokane, Washington, and Denver, Colorado, and buy sockeye salmon, it comes from Bristol Bay. This mine runs a pretty good chance of killing that area, the environment of that area. So I ask our listeners, please go to this website, stoppebblemine.org. Very simple.
Yep.
stoppebblemine.org, and sign the petition to stop this. Because here's why. Wouldn't you know it, Donald Trump comes in, and they not only killed the Standing Rock fight, where they are now drilling under this reservoir up in North Dakota to run a fuel line down, an oil line that isn't even going to serve us in America. It's for Canada. And they let that go through. And now what are they doing? They're turning back this effort of the Obama administration to keep these waters clean. So please, stoppebblemine.org.
They're killing us on everything. Is Trump still president?
Sure is.
Oh, damn it.
I wanted to ask you.
I'm sorry.
And Megan was saying this to me after the last show we recorded of, Jene, you know Jerry's politics, better than a lot of people. He said no to running for governor in Ohio, and then we asked him a week or so ago,
pleaded for him to run in Kentucky.
Run in Kentucky. He
Yep.
begged off on that,
Yep.
and I want to hit it one last time. What about Indiana? Would you run in Indiana?
Come on, Jerry. You
for
can
governor.
do it.
Well, I can think, actually, Indiana is the place of vice presidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pence and Quayle. So with that tradition, no. I don't think I want to be governor. No.
May I ask
I
you
don't
one
think
other
you should
question?
be.
Yeah.
You were born in England. We've been through this. You were born in like a bathroom in a subway in England. Is that true?
Yeah, a train station.
A train station, okay. And you cannot be a president in the U.S. because you weren't born in the United States. You're an immigrant.
A lot of people are ticked off about that.
I know. I lose sleep over it most nights.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Does the Constitution prevent you from being vice president?
Yes.
Okay.
Secretary of State. I can
There's a
be.
possibility.
Secretary
Only
of
two
State
offices.
Springer. That has a little ring to it. I like that.
Yeah, well, anything. No, right. President, vice president, the only two offices where you have to have been born in the United States.
Okay. Well,
And the reason they did it back then, by the way, is because, we had just finished the revolution against, England. And so they wanted to make sure that however our government was going to be, it wasn't going to be someone coming over from England and then, taking over. Because in the beginning, we didn't know, that George Washington would be so great to, after 2 terms, not to run again. Because in the beginning, the fear was that we'd have a king. Mm-hmm. Little did we know that 240 years later, we've got someone who wants to be king.
Yep.
All right.
Donnie.
Well,
anyway, so
I was born in America. And
so you could be president?
Well,
No.
let's go slow. Let's go slow. Right now, I'm on the Ludlow City Park Advisory Board. Let's just go
A
slow.
non-elected.
So do you have
The elected people got me appointed, Megan. It's not like
Yeah, I think
So
you-
what-
accountability is there. Go back.
So
far
what is
enough.
your title? In other words, for example, once you've been a mayor, people call you mayor, or once you've been a senator, they call you a senator.
yeah.
So what do we call you? Advisor
Park
Galvin?
Board
Park Advisor Galvin.
Park
Advisor
Park Advisor.
Galvin.
I like
Who
that.
would go to you
Park
for
Advisor
advice?
Galvin.
On anything.
Really
City of
anything.
Ludlow. The city of Ludlow.
Ludlow, we got to talk.
Park,
'cause-
Park Advisor Galvin.
What
I
do
like
you
that.
know about parks?
He's been to one twice.
Oh no! I mean, I got
they
Google.
Just pick a name and say
Yeah.
you be park advisor.
You'll do.
How many times do parks come to you and say I need advice?
I can't answer that question.
We don't know. I'm gonna look in. I'm gonna get my people. They'll get back to you.
You don't
Hey.
have any people.
2017, pretty interesting year. How do you see it as you look back on it?
Well, and I really will try to make this one brief tonight. Well, the best thing about 2017 was the women's movement. And that will have a lasting effect because, as I said in the last podcast, that can never be reversed. In other words, now that the world is conscious about it, men are conscious about it, women are conscious about it, there's no way that we're suddenly several months from now going to say, okay, it's okay again to pat women on the butts, et cetera, at work and stuff like that. So the women's movement has taken hold. That will never be reversed. And if the energy stays up, that will have a major impact in 2018. Because clearly, politically speaking, there is one party that seems to be anti-woman on virtually every issue that comes about. And so I think that is the reason, if the Congress shifts, if the Senate shifts to the Democratic side, more than anything else, I think it'll be because women have risen up, will be the major factor in the election. It's not going to matter. The Republican woman is not going to say, well, I'm a Republican. On this issue, it hits every family in America. So I really think that's the great plus from 2017. But the negative, not just, listing all the bad things that happened in our country this year, what I think it's going to take a long time to fix this is I think this will be remembered as the year where we really accelerated the concept of cynicism in America and regarding all our institutions. In other words, if you were trying to explain to a 25-year or 20-year-old, I want you to get involved in public life, I want you to, love this country, work hard at this, what institution exists right now that hasn't been greatly, greatly damaged? I mean, okay, so you start, I really think Bannon and his folks have succeeded in what they set out to do, to dismantle the administrative state, to dismantle our government. But it isn't just the dismantling of the American government and the protections that it was set up to provide us with, but it's also damaged our cultural institutions. Let's start with the Republican Party, though. The Republican Party, even if you were a diehard Republican, you no longer have a party. The Republican Party used to be the party of fiscal responsibility. They were the ones that said, we can't have a deficit. We have to have balanced budgets. And look, today they just passed a tax bill, which $1.5 trillion, at least, they blew up the whole budget. They blew up the deficit to pass their budget because the donors wanted a tax break. And now we all pay for that. So where's the fiscal responsibility? Understand, when you increase the deficit like that, that means the government doesn't have enough money at the end of the year to pay its bills because it's not taking in as much money as it has to send out. So it has to borrow money. Well, if the government is forced to borrow money, why are people going to invest in our government or buy government bonds? Because the government needs the money. The only way they do that is if you raise the interest rate. You'll buy a government bond if all of a sudden you can get more money in return. So that's how interest rates go up. Then a private business that wants to borrow money, they have to offer even higher interest. Your mortgage rates go up. Fewer people can afford to buy homes. The housing industry gets hurt. In other words, they are ripping up the financial stability of this country. And the Republicans are supposed to be the party of fiscal responsibility. Then a cultural institution. And it's a heck of a time to talk about it around Christmas, but look at what the damage that has been done to evangelical Christianity. I mean, if that is your religion, God bless you, okay? That is great. But you got to mean, as I understand the whole evangelical movement, it's not just to believe in Jesus and believe that, but it's also to inspire other people to join. They aggressively go out as part of their religion to come and join us. But if all of a sudden people don't even believe that the evangelicals take their religion seriously, and when 81% of evangelical Christians can vote for a Donald Trump and a Roy Moore and have the whole Republican Party support it, then doesn't someone who is thinking about becoming evangelical and being born again, someone has to suddenly say, wait a second, you don't even believe that. If that is really important to you, if the teachings of Jesus are important to you, why do you think it's okay that someone like Donald Trump is president of the United States? Why do you think it's okay that a Roy Moore, an accused pedophile, should be in the United States Senate? I mean, in other words, it's easy to become cynical about religion when even the people that are pushing religion apparently don't believe it themselves. So we're becoming cynical about even our own religions, our own cultural things. The third area is the whole area of journalism and news. You got Fox News. Now, who can believe that anymore? It's just every single day totally made up lies. You can't even say, well, they got the story wrong. They're purposely getting it wrong. Time after time. There's another institution. How can you believe that? And then there's the issue of the institution called the United States of America. We have degraded what America is. Because, I've said it many times, America is basically an idea. That's what distinguishes us from every other country in the world. We're the only country that was ever created by an idea. First there was an idea, then we built the country. And the idea was it didn't matter who you were, where you were from, what your religion is, you're welcome here in our country. And now we have a president and a political party that wants to eliminate this multicultural America. Ban the Muslims, deport the Mexicans, disenfranchise African Americans, whatever the group is, the heck with that. We want a white America, a white Christian America. And so all of a sudden, do we really mean what we say about this is America, this is the place, this is the Statue of Liberty? Do we really mean that anymore? Do we even stand for the idea of free speech anymore? Think about it. People are getting, the government is getting upset, or political leaders are getting upset because a football player takes a knee. In other words, if you believe in America, I'm not saying you have to agree with what they're protesting. That's your business. But how can you be opposed to the idea of a protest? And can you get any more peaceful than taking a knee? You're not even shouting. You're not even holding up signs. You're not burning down a city. You're not rioting. You're getting down on a knee. And we as a nation, too many people are just now suddenly saying, how dare you do that? Like, wait, whoa. What happened to, I may disagree with what you say, but I'll fight to the death your right to say it. We now get offended because someone takes a knee, even if I disagree with that point of view. This is America. So I'm wondering, this is the age of cynicism. What do we believe anymore? The political parties don't, the Republican Party doesn't stand for what it allegedly was, family values, fiscal responsibility. The evangelical movement is now, get back to what you believe. Live it like you believe it. That's all. And then, as I said, the whole news industry, the right-wing news industry. So here's the end. Bannon and company are getting what they originally set out to do, to dismantle this country, to dismantle our government, to do away with our institutions so that America ultimately will become not what we want it to be, but that it'll become just ready for the war against Islam. Christianity versus Islam. That's what Bannon has said is coming. That's the apocalypse. And get America ready. We can't be multicultural. That's what we got to do. And here's the problem beyond that. When you do away with all these institutions that are supposed to be where we reflect our values, where we get our beliefs, it's what holds us together as a society. When these institutions fall apart, what you will wind up with is chaos. There will be demonstrations. There will be riots. You take away 13 million people's health care. You do away with insurance for health care for children. You do away with our constitutional rights. You do away with government entities doing what they're supposed to do, protecting us. There will be chaos. People will be ticked off, and there will be riots. And what happens in history, whenever a society starts to have chaos, pretty soon people want a strong leader to bring law and order. I don't care if it's on the left, communism, on the right, fascism. The history of the 20th century is societies having first chaos, then the call to order, and that's when authoritarian figures rise up. Why do you think Trump is such an authoritarian? Why do you think he loves people like Putin? The strong leader will bring order when there's chaos, and you get the chaos by dismantling the current government. That is what's going on, and that is what the bad news is of 2017.
Hey, Jared.
On that happy note, let's sing some jingles.
Yeah. Let's get funky. Hey, Megan in a second is going to introduce Ouiwey Collins and his band. By the way, the first song is, and this relates to a conversation we're now going to have with Bootsy Collins and Patty, Peppermint Patty, is that they have this foundation, which is the Bootsy Collins Foundation, and their first song that Ouiwey and the band is going to do is called Together We Can, which is the theme song of this foundation. So I want to ask, you guys are mic'd up over there? I think you are. We all set? Okay.
we are.
You're going to share a mic. First of all, say hello to Bootsy Collins. Hello, Bootsy.
Hey, how's it going? Jared, I'd like to say, Jared, that was point on, man.
Yeah,
was
yeah, it
point
was.
on, right?
And say hello to Patty Collins.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Now, I want, before we have the band come up, I want to mention something. And again, let's make sure y'all know, if you go to bootsycollins.com, you can get this album. This is Bootsy's latest album, Worldwide Funk. And also, there will be copies. I think we're going to work it out that there'll be some here at the Folk School Coffee Parlor, and people can come in here and buy the album here in the near future. We're going to work on that. This foundation, Patty, let me turn to you for a second, can I?
Yes,
the
of
Bootsy
course.
Collins Foundation, which Patty runs, and before I ask you to tell what that foundation does, let me alert everybody on February 24th, if you're anywhere near the greater Cincinnati area, come to Ludlow, Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati. And there is a very cool thing going on in Ludlow, Kentucky. And sure, it's me getting appointed to the advisory board for the parks, yes. But far beyond that is the fact that that the wonderful people who have lived here forever are still here, legacy families that have been here for many years. But there were some housing openings just because of what happens in urban areas. And you can walk from here to downtown Cincinnati. So this is its own cool little river city with its own school district and everything, grocery stores, coffee shops, the Ludlow Tavern, etc. But the city of Ludlow, because of this housing stock availability, a lot of new people are moving in. The owners of the Folk School Coffee Parlor live upstairs, have the coffee shop here. There are what we call the creative class are coming from all over the country, people from all over the country, trust me, who are moving in. And because of that marriage of the old and the new, something very cool is happening on the 24th of February, which benefits the Bootsy Collins Foundation. So that thing on February 24th is there will be a number of musical groups that will perform in 7 venues in Ludlow Folk School Coffee Parlor could be one of them, although we might be doing the podcast from here and put up this whole thing on Facebook live stream it, etc. But at the Ludlow Tavern, at the hardware store, at the distillery where they do bourbon down the street, at all over, at the Buffalo Bar, kind of a legacy bar in Ludlow. So the old and the new. So this is going to be great.
It is.
Now,
And with your connections, maybe even at one of the parks.
Maybe. He's not that.
great
that
thing
well
on Saturday night in February. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Patty, that sets this up for you. Tell us about the Bootsy Collins Foundation that this benefit is going to help, and you've got other sources helping you. But tell us.
Well, thank you again for having us. This is awesome. And again, Jerry, you're right on spot. But we have hope. We have hope. But the Bootsy Collins Foundation, we started it back in 2010, been a 501c3 since 2011. We inspire, we educate the youth, young adults, and older folks as well, through music, the arts, or whatever you do in your world. So we give instruments to children. We work with dental. Our nephew passed away of a tooth infection 5 years ago. So we work with Elm Street Dental Clinic to help those who are underserved with that. We have a program called the Groovement Girls, where we're really groovy, and we all lift the self-esteem of one another through music and arts and whatever they do. We teach girls how to clean, how to cook, teach the boys how to fish. So we just have a good time. And because of Bootsy, we're able to take it all around the world, and we're having a good time with it, and we're helping a lot of people. And thank you, because you're getting ready to help us to help even more.
Great. It's a great partnership.
And Jene, you said something that struck, everything. You said putting the old with the new. And actually, that's what the record is about. That's what the foundation is about. And that's really what this whole conversation is about. It's putting everybody together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we need one another, And I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to hear what I'm hearing, because it gives you hope. Because it's like what you hear out there now is so much stuff that don't give you uplift, don't encourage you. And people are hurting. And, when you get to hear encouraging things, that's one of the best things in this life, is to hear that kind of encouraging stuff, because it's so much stuff like Jerry was saying, is just going down, and Jerry said something else about the glue that, he didn't say it like this, but it was the glue that brings it together. And we are the glue.
Yeah.
We are the glue.
Well, music is, and we mentioned that because we've been working with some folk groups on the idea of getting them involved in social causes. As back in the '60s, the music was the language of protest, the language of progressive movements, and maybe while everyone's yelling at each other, the music can kind of get the point across and get people feeling like, we can do. Every social movement in America that has made it has its music. Yeah, good Lord, they were having music back when people were working in the cotton fields.
Yeah.
The slaves would communicate with each other through music. Yeah, when we go into prisons. Yeah. Oftentimes, we heard that story about the bus, the
Freedom Riders. Yeah,
they
Jackson,
would communicate
Mississippi.
from cell to cell by singing songs.
Yeah,
because that's how they got the message to each other, because they weren't allowed to talk to each other, or the Southern sheriffs there, or whoever the guards there would hit them over the head. So they would sing, and of course they thought, we can let them sing. It's just music, but that's how they were communicating. And, from We Shall Overcome to anti-war songs to Bob Dylan to You. Yeah. The cause lives because the music is the language of the cause.
That's it.
Yes. And when you hear Together We Can, that was written because of partly of what's going on. Bootsy and our other writer, Zach, came together and said, we need to do something to pull us up and out. So
Can we hear it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about
We're
bringing
getting ready to
Ouiwey
do
up?
it.
Ouiwey up,
Are they here? And we'll.
where is Ouiwey at?
He's right here.
In the Funk Squad.
Come on.
Pleasure to meet you.
So this is Ouiwey Collins and the band, and as they come to the microphone. How you
So
doing?
Jerry, like you, I get a chance to sit back and watch,
Yeah.
instead of being like,
Why don't you go ahead and introduce everyone to us? I know we've got Facebook Live over there, but so our audience knows who we are.
Okay, I am Ouiwey Collins, son of the legendary Bootsy Collins and Miss Patty, Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
And this right here is...
Hi, I'm Savannah.
Hi, Savannah.
Hey,
Hey,
Savannah.
Savannah.
Dave, big bass.
Hey, David.
David on bass. And P Funk.
Dave P.
And Dave
And we
P.
are Funk Squad.
Hey. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So we're about to do a tune that Dad and Zach wrote. It's called Together We Can. So are y'all ready?
We are ready.
All right. Let's go, baby.
Hi.
Yeah. All right, baby. Let's do it a little something like this. Together we can.
We can achieve the achievable. It's not so hard to see. We can reach the unreachable if we simply try to reach. Together we can.
Yeah.
Together we can.
Yeah, baby.
We can achieve the impossible.
Oh,
It's not so hard to see.
no.
In a world that's filled with happiness, enough joy for you and me. Together we can. Together we can. Together we can. Move mountains, ride the sea. Together we can. Hold hands in peace and harmony.
Yeah. Oh,
We can achieve the unachievable.
yeah, we can, baby.
Isn't that hard to see?
Say what?
We can reach the unreachable if we simply try to reach. Together we can.
Yeah.
Together we can.
Together we can, baby.
All right. We can achieve the impossible.
Achievable.
Or agree to disagree in a world that's filled with happiness,
world filled with happiness.
enough joy for you and me. Oh, together we can.
Now, we got another song we're going to do. I wrote this original song called Puppy Love. And we're going to give y'all a little rock, and not little rock, but a little 60s, 50s.
Now, yeah, I can relate.
So, what y'all got, baby?
Yeah. Puppy. did not have to say that you loved me, but thank you.
Now, that was the way to end up 2017. That was the note that we needed to end it on.
Yeah.
It's all about you, ain't it, Jerry? Always. That was incredible.
That
And-
was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, what a great way to wrap up this year. What a wonderful message to send out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you very much.
And
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
well, I was going to say,
Have at
something
it.
tells me we're going to have a pretty interesting version of Down
Down
by the Riverside with Jerry
Is Jerry
Springer.
is he going to
This
sing?
is not
I
the
think
way
he's
to
gonna-
end
No, I know. Can we could just end it right here. I mean, this is good.
All right, let's try it. Oh,
Let's
man,
try
I'm
it.
sorry.
Are you nervous, Jer?
You know, there's something called DNA. You guys got it. Honestly,
A lot of
I mean,
talent
the
up there.
talent,
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
What happened?
You didn't get it, babe. You didn't get it. It's all right.
I'm still singing "Blowing in the Wind."
We gon' lay down our burden.
Oh, down by the riverside.
Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. We're gonna lay
Down my bed. Down by the riverside.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website at jerryspringer.com.
I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield.